Alright, what's up everybody, back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today we're going to be talking about why we are all ready for another Boston Celtic Philadelphia 76ers series. It's most likely going to happen as a 2-3 matchup in the Eastern Conference unless anything changes or one of these teams gets upset, which would be insane. But we're ready for it, and I'm going to tell you why in this video. Thank you guys for the views on the vids and the shorts recently. If you do like the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications bells, so like that. I really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. And I don't want to waste a lot of your time, so let's get right into it. So first, looking at the season series, all the 4 games this year between Boston and Philly, they've all been really good games. The first game they played on opening night, the first game of the NBA season was Celtics and Sixers. The Celtics won by 9, but we don't really remember that much about it. Opening night seems like freaking 3 years ago at this point with how much has gone on this season. That was a long time ago. I don't even remember anything about this game except for that James Harden looked really good, but the Celtics came out and won. And then their next 2 games were in February. Early February, the first game where and this was a game where it was a team-oriented game. Because if you look at the Celtics, the leading scorers were Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon, each had 19. Jason Tatum had 12 points. He shot 5 for 15. Jaylen Brown only played 17 minutes. Grant Williams had 15. Blake Griffin had 15. Had 5 threes in this game. Sam Hauser had 14. And then you look at Philly, and Joel had 28. Harden had 26 and 11. Melton had 12. But yeah, Tobias Harris had 4 points. Tyrese Maxey had 6 points off the bench. This is a very odd game. Very odd game. Both of these teams didn't shoot that well from the field, but the Celtics role players helped out a lot in this game, and the Celtics won that one. And then their next game, which is probably one of the best games of the season, February 25th, an insane performance. The Celtics got a lot of help from their bench. Derek White had 18 off the bench. Jaylen Brown had 26. He was hitting some big shots. Horford had 15. Robert Williams had 14. Marcus Smart had 10. Jason Tatum had struggled shooting this game. He had 18, 13, and 6, and hit the big three-pointer to tie the game, or to win the game. And this is the game we got Tatum hit the shot, and then Joel pulled up the full court shot, but just barely missed, and the Celtics snuck out of it there. Joel finished with 41, 12, and 5. Harden had 21, 6, and 8. PJ Tucker had 16 rebounds. Tobias Harris had 19. But yeah, that game I was ready for a series right then after that game. And then we had last night's game where the Sixers finally defeated the Celtics 103-101. Joel Embiid might have sealed his MVP right there with that performance. An amazing performance. Celtics were leading all the way, most of it. And then the fourth quarter comes around, and Joel Embiid really takes over the fourth. Joel Embiid finishes with 52, 13, and 6, shooting 20 for 25 and hitting 12 free throws. James Harden had 25 and 10 assists. Again, all the people involved. And PJ Tucker hit 3 clutch threes in the last minute and a half of the fourth quarter to really win this game. Boston, no Jaylen Brown in this game. That's a big factor. Derek White had 26, 7, and 4. Tatum at 19, 66. He shot 7 for 20. Marcus Smart had 17. Horford and Grant Williams each had double figures. Malcolm Brogdon had 18 off the bench. But yeah, every game in the Celtics and Sixers series in the regular season has been down to the wire, very good games that felt like have that playoff feel because the Celtics and Sixers have played each other so much in the playoffs, you know? Yeah, if you look at the Celtics and Sixers, recently, to be honest, they haven't played in the playoffs recently as much as I thought they have. In the last 5 years, they played each other twice in the playoffs, which is actually not that much. But it's crazy if you look at all the playoff history of this series. The Sixers have not defeated the Celtics in a playoff series since 1982, the Eastern Conference Finals. That was the last time the Sixers beat the Celtics in a playoff series. 1982. The Sixers defeated the Celtics in 7 games. And then went on to the NBA Finals and lost to the Lakers, Magic Johnson, that year. But yeah, since then, the Celtics and Sixers have matched up against each other 5 times since 1982, and the Celtics have won every single one. 1985 Eastern Conference Finals, Celtics won in 5. The 2002 first round, Celtics won in 5. 2012 second round, Celtics won in 7. The 2018 second round, the Celtics won in 5. And then their latest matchup, 2020 in the first round, the bubble, where the Celtics swept the Sixers. But yeah, every time they play, it feels like a playoff series because these two teams are always usually at the top of the East, these teams always usually have stars. There's always something going on with that Boston and Philly rivalry. And we're getting it this year in the regular season. All four of these games have had these great, amazing feels, to them. And we really need it. We really need a playoff series like this. One, for the Celtics and Sixers rivalry, because these two teams are known for a rivalry and playing each other all the time and playing hard against each other. But also because the matchups also will be amazing. I mean, you got Joel Embiid against Boston, and Boston has a lot of solid big men. They got Robert Williams, they got Al Horford, they got Grant Williams. They got some solid defenders, so that should be a good matchup. But then again, you saw last night, that doesn't really matter, because Joel Embiid is most likely going to be Joel Embiid no matter what you throw at him. So that would be interesting. You got the wings and Tatum and Brown, of course, for the Celtics. At the Sixers, probably going to stick PJ Tucker and Tobias, I guess, on. They get those assignments, because I know you're not putting James Harden on them or Tyrese Maxey. So it's got to be Tobias and PJ. And then D'Anthony Melton, when he comes into the game. Yeah, the matchups with each other are going to be good. The Celtics take a lot of threes, but they also have Tatum and Brown that can get to the rim and get buckets. But then Joel Embiid has also been an amazing defender in the interior this season. And then for the Sixers, the Celtics also have a lot of defenders. Yeah, the matchups, we look at them, the matchups are really good, really, really good. The stakes will be high as well, because this will be a second-round playoff matchup to get to the conference finals. And for the Sixers, that would be a huge goal. Sixers haven't made the conference finals in, I want to say, since 2001. Just the Allen Iverson to the finals year. I feel like that's the last time they made it to the conference finals. I could be wrong. No, yeah, that was the last time they made it to the conference finals. It was in 2001 when they made their NBA finals run and lost to the Lakers, Shaq and Kobe. So that'd be a huge for the Sixers if they can win that. That'd be very important for the Sixers. That series would be so important because they haven't made the conference finals in so long. And beating the Celtics to get there will make it even better. And this will also be great because now, after that, we could finally see what the Sixers kind of are. A lot of people want to put the Sixers in the tier with the Bucks and the Celtics, and a lot of people don't. So I feel like this series would be perfect to kind of decide who the Sixers are or were this season in the tier. Were they on the tier of Bucks and Celtics, or were they in their other tier below them? Are they as good as the top tier teams? And if they do, we'll win that series. I mean, that gives you everything you need. Like, they were a top tier team, and they were in the tier with the Celtics and Bucks because they just took one of those teams out in the playoffs. But yeah, it would just be such a fun series. It would be such a really, really good series as well. I feel like that's at least going to 6 if those two teams match up, because the Sixers just have a too good enough team to lose in 4 or 5, man. Like, Joel Embiid is really the MVP, a dominant force. They have the role players like D'Anthony Melton, like PJ Tucker, Tobias Harris this year that will do the things to help them win, hit the threes, get the steals, make the good plays, smart plays. But I think, honestly, the X factor for the Sixers in the playoffs in general, but also in the series, James Harden. James Harden, if you look at this season, when James Harden has been James Harden, putting up 20 points and like 10, 11 assists, not even putting up 20, maybe put up 16 points, but putting up 13 assists, maybe not even 13 assists, like 7 assists, but he's putting up 29, 30, they win most of the time. And if you look at the games that they've lost, that's been some games where James Harden's had 16 points, 7 assists. Or like 17 points, 6 assists. And they can't have that. But that's why I feel like he's such a big X factor, because James Harden needs to be the guy that gets everyone involved. Like, of course, he can go get his own buckets when he wants to. He averaged 37 in a season one year. He could do that. Maybe not as efficient, not as crazy as it used to be, but he could still get it. There's still moments where you can see he can still get his. But I feel like he's so important for the team because he kind of sets everyone up. He gets everyone involved. He will be the guy to find Tobias Harris in the corner for 3. He'll be the guy to give it to Maxey on a fast break to get a layup. He'll be the guy to find George Niang on the wing for 3. Like, he's that type of guy that not only gets himself involved, but he's so important because he gets everybody involved. He makes this team a lot better than what they are. Besides just the Joel and Harden show, he gets the little one, the Meltons, the Tobiases, the Niangs, all involved in the games, make you have to worry about them. So I feel like James Harden, if he can be the James Harden that we've seen this regular season, where he's giving you 20 points, but he's also giving you 10, 11 assists a game, I feel like the Sixers have a legitimate chance against anybody. Honestly, with the way Joel Embiid has been playing this season, with the way their team is constructed, with the way they look dominant at sometimes this season, if James Harden can be the James Harden that we've seen this season, and he can give you a good 20 and 10 consistently, the Sixers have a legitimate chance against anybody. I feel like I honestly feel like that way. So James Harden will have to show up. The Celtics have all the talent to get to the NBA Finals again and win an NBA championship. Look at their team. They have one of the deepest teams in the league. They got two superstars, dang near, in Tatum and Brown. They have such great role players in Marcus Smart, Al Horford, and Brogdon, Derek White. They have the defense. They have Robert Williams. They have Grant Williams. They have shooting. They have literally anything you want. The Celtics have. The only thing, the one thing that worries me about the Celtics is they're falling in love with the 3-point shot. And I think we've seen throughout the last few years that teams that fall in love with the 3 don't make it that far into the playoffs or don't win championships. I know people are going to talk about the Warriors. The Warriors weren't a team that shot 40 threes a game. The Warriors, of course, had the greatest shooters of all time, which is why they shot a lot of threes. But they weren't just, we have to shoot threes to win. We have to shoot threes to win. Or we have to shoot these many threes. They had Steph Curry get to the bucket. Klay Thompson get mid-range. And then they added Kevin Durant. So, they weren't just all about threes. Boston Celtics are getting to that tier where they're taking a lot of threes. They're all about the 3. And I don't like betting on teams like that. I personally just don't like betting on teams like that. But the bit different about the Celtics is that they have Tatum and Brown. They can go get a bucket whenever they can go drop 40 basically whenever they want to, it seems like. And they have good IQ role players that hopefully will understand that, okay, the 3's not falling, let's do something else. That's the only thing that worries about the Celtics is their 3-point shot. And if their 3s aren't hitting, it might be tough for them. But other than that, I mean, they have an amazing team. We've seen it all year. But, yeah, man, this Celtics Sixers series, we need it, man. The emotion of it, too. You saw last night's game, their emotions. Both these teams know about this rivalry and know that they want to beat each other. It would just be so fun. And we're probably going to get it. I would bet that we're going to get this series. In the second round, and I can't wait for it. I really, really can't wait for it. It's going to be such an amazing, exciting series. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you do have the content, consider subscribing, like, turn on notifications, all stuff like that. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.